Hey, I'm Dagny. In this video, I want to talk about business. So I am currently developing a business and I wanted to share with you my experience. And I'm so excited to share more with you, but in this video, we're talking about money. In particular, moving money in and out of Ghana, as well as moving money in a sense of investment and opportunities to make it grow on its own. So first, story time. I collaborated with a graphic designer to create the logo for my business. She is a brilliant, talented, amazing lady who is based in Benin. We created the agreement of us working together. We agreed on the price, agreed on delivery time, and agreed on the method of payment. She noted she has MTN mobile money. I noted I have MTN mobile money. So we both thought we can do this transaction via MTN mobile money. So she delivered the service, which is awesome. I'm so excited to show you guys the logo when it's time, because she did beyond even my expectations. When you have something in your mind, I explain or describe things in a very abstract sort of thing due to my imagination. And she was able to take it to a whole other level. And I was like, yes. It was really a wonderful experience working with her. Then it was time to pay. So I went ahead the day before delivery day. I decided, okay, let me make sure I have the right number, because the way mobile money works, you need someone's phone number that is attached to a mobile money wallet in order to send the money. So I make sure I have the right amount in my wallet, and I put in the number, and the app says invalid number. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, oh, maybe it needs an extra zero or something. Still invalid number. So I reach out to her asking, hey, is this the right phone number? Am I supposed to put a different country code? Let me know, because it's not going through. And she noted, no, yeah, that is the phone number. Then she did deliver, and then I noted, yeah, this is still not working. Then we discovered that my mobile money is limited to Ghana, and her mobile money is limited to Benin. So our wallets cannot interact with each other, even though we're both using MTN. It's like, oh, okay, all right. That's a bummer. Okay, well, let's see what else we can do. So we both are doing research, trying to find another app that does this online movement of money within a wallet that you're keeping on your phone. Would you believe me if I told you that it took us 2 weeks to resolve this issue? I and her downloading all kinds of different apps, trying to make this transaction, and getting hit with the same obstacle that none of these apps allow these two countries to interact with each other via a money transaction. Then I'm like, okay, we can go old school. Let me look at MoneyGram in Western Union. Okay, yeah, we got MoneyGram here in Ghana. Yes, she has MoneyGram in Benin. Great. I go outside to find a MoneyGram location, which usually is within a bank. I go inside. I let them know I am trying to make a MoneyGram transaction. Do you do that? Yes, please, fill out this form. I fill out the form, give them the form, and then I then note that there is confusion where what I requested was not understood, because they now think that I'm the person from Benin. And I'm like, no. It's my money that I'm sending. Oh, we don't do that here. We only receive money. And I'm like, why would you not? Because we're not allowed to. We don't. Okay, so how can I do that? You would have to go to your bank. Okay, so I do have a bank account here, and go to that bank, and they are like, yeah, we can send money you can only do a bank transfer. We don't send money via MoneyGram or Western Union, but from bank to bank, we can do that. Okay. So I go back home. Now, not 5 minutes in and out. This kind of took an entire afternoon. And so I go home and reach out to her to let her know, okay, these are the developments so far on my end of how I'm able to get money to you. She doesn't have a bank account to receive bank transfers. What we ended up doing is that I had my mama in Texas, go to MoneyGram at Walmart to send the money to Benin, which then even that had to do a little back and forth because, again, the MoneyGram is in a bank. So you getting your money is dependent on whether the teller at the bank is having a good day or whether they want to give you a little more of a hard time to get your own money, which is what occurred. This was quite a learning experience for me because I was not aware of how complicated it was to move money around. From the jump, I was super excited to work with somebody in another African country. Yes, there are graphic designers in Ghana, but it just so happened that at the time when I was searching for one, she had reached out independently and came across my radar. And we had a conversation and I thought, no, we're on the same wavelength, let's do this. And me being someone who I'm here to support and celebrate Ghana as well as Africa, I thought, oh my gosh, awesome. Like already my business is being Pan-African because we are incorporating, collaborating, showcasing talent and brilliance from around the continent. So it did not occur to me at all that this sort of issue would have come into play. The other thing I took note of on this was how much money transactions on the continent still are not set up in a way to actually benefit Africa and its people. Like, do you know how much money, how much profit MoneyGram makes off of Africans? Because that's how they send money back home, right? That's how they send remittances. And each of those transactions have a fee. And that fee doesn't go to the country like that it's sending it to. It stays at that Walmart in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know how much money, how much profit banks or institutions that hold the MoneyGram franchise here could make if they could send money from here? I still don't really understand like the restrictions around that as to like why is it still set up that way when so many people use it. Then when it goes into the online money, mobile money, digital money, like why MTN is quite a huge company here. And some may even claim it has somewhat of a monopoly hold on the market. Again, I'm not sure what regulations would have to come into play in order for a mobile money wallet to have access to doing transactions throughout the continent, as opposed to just within one country. But then it got me digging deeper into all of this. There are so many like financial startups in Africa who are picking up funding and the news. And like last year, Paystack was in the news because, oh my gosh, it got acquired or it got this money and $200 million. So now it's turned into a unicorn or a leprechaun, or I'm still trying to understand what you turn into depending on how much money you raise for your startup. But on the one hand, I'm like, okay, I understand why there are so many financial tech focused startups and venture capitalists, because there is a void, definitely. But with all the hype and news about you getting funding and working and stuff, none of y'all could solve my problem. And I'll admit, no, I didn't use every single app on the planet, but for the ones that I was looking at, where specifically I'm looking to move money within Africa, and it needs to have access to my wallet here. And all of them were set up in a way of like, we can definitely move money in and out of Africa, not within the continent. So that wasn't the case in my experience. And that's not good for business. It isn't. So if you have had a similar experience, share with me in the comments. Also, if you have a solution to my challenge of how would I be able to continue collaborating and working with Africans across the continent and pay them. And they pay me through an online mobile money transaction way. Next, and this is another story time, I was listening to this program on local radio station, Citi, C-I-T-I, and they were having this like live program with representatives from a bank and an audience or group of people who seemed to be primarily like young professionals. And the topic was talking about investments and retirement. I took note of how when it comes to moving money in Ghana in a way that it grows on its own, in a way that you can set up passive income, in a way that you can set yourself up to be comfortable for the long term. Looking at the formal bank, formal economy, we have some room to grow. Because listening to this program where the questions that the audience were asking were things like, when should they start investing? What are their options? What kind of budget should they be trying to set up? How does family planning affect retirement? How does the fact that your salary barely covers your livelihood and your daily costs? So where does the money come from to even start saving or investing? And the majority of the answers from these representatives were along the lines of, generally speaking, that you should plan to retire, not retire to plan. It all depends. We have two options, short-term and long-term. And that was it. It just got me thinking of how, like, the way the economy is set up, the way people are set up, the way people's salaries are set up here in Ghana for young professionals. It just seems like the banks are really only focused and catering to the older demographics who presumably would have more money because they've acquired more years in their career and are into the retirement deals. They have more lump sums that they need to put somewhere. It's interesting. I don't have all the answers to this again, but it's interesting. And I ended up like looking into, like researching, is anyone else talking about this? Does anyone else have a solution to this? And there's a whole lot of reports. I remember mentioning this in another video. There's a whole lot of reports about, half of the world's mobile money transactions are in Africa. And as we know, Africa's population, the youth like overtake everything. And they are the consumer base y'all need to be focused on because they're coming up. They've been coming up and now they're coming up even more. But no one has everyone's just like taking note, like, there's a market. There is a market for this and a huge void because there's so many other connections that have yet to be done that those who are holding that market now are barely scratching the surface of the potential of what these sorts of digital financial services and financial inclusion propositions can do for this population. And then there is an example of like a step in the right direction almost. Fidelity Bank, which is another bank here in Ghana, has done a campaign with Kiddy, who is a Ghanaian musician artist, to promote digital banking. So it's a step in the right direction because you do understand that your younger population is a real market that you need to be tapping into. How flexible or how much that digital banking actually caters to what that demographic needs, I don't know yet. I'm not sure. Keeping a budget and trying to be frugal, because that was something else that in the radio program was like, oh, you need to keep a budget. You're spending too much. Young people spend too much. You need to spend less. And there's no need to be driving a bigger car. There's no need to be living in a 3-bedroom place and things like that, which I'm like, okay, but what about the fact that their salary really actually does not equal the effort and the skill set and the qualifications that they got in the time they're putting in? And even if they spend less, their expenses regular expenses you can't spend less on. Like, so I'm just not going to pay for electricity. It's okay. We'll just live without electricity. Like, no, you need to pay for that. But if the price of electricity continues to go up, the price of data continues to go up, the price of Wi-Fi continues going up, the price of your food keeps on going up, the price of fuel, if you drive a car, keeps on going up, but your salary stays the same. How much budgeting can you truly do to make ends meet? So listening to that program, I just felt that the audience really wasn't getting responses that they could truly utilize. That's a little sneak peek behind the scenes of what an experience I've had and the learning curve I had to get through. Of course, since this got me thinking about things and researching other things, the blog post for this video I will share outtakes and stuff from like the different reports and things that I found. Because I feel like, yes, the financial tech market is a big deal in all over the world, but yes, it's a big deal in Africa because yeah, we are like the leader in this deal of we are all using mobile money out here. So it's like, it's great to have buzz, but like I hope we're still building, I hope we're moving towards building a market that truly does fill those voids as opposed to it just being more hype and buzz full of problems. Now, I did sign up with an app called Bitsika. I have yet to use it for a transaction because I'm still like learning how to use it. And I might, for the first thing, because it's kind of like other money apps where you can create your own username so that it's the username you give people to send you money. So I might set that up so that people like you who enjoy my content and would love to support monetarily or financially can use that, right, to send me money and see if that works. But I do believe you need to have the Bitsika app to do that. So it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. But it's exciting. It's still exciting because I would have never known any of this if I had not experienced it myself. So that is the cool thing about going into business. Here you get to discover all kinds of things and have to create solutions as you go. Share with me below if you've had a similar experience or have had other types of experiences moving money in and out or within Ghana and Africa. Have you had a similar experience to me and did you resolve it differently? Do you have another app to suggest that I use next time? Share with me, please, so I can check it out. And then when it comes to investments and planning for the long term financially in Ghana, in Africa, do you have any other questions about that? Do you have any solutions or advice on that? Share with me below. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. I'll see you next time.